You guys go together too, take a good look at how Son Goku they deal with it. Vegeta grabbed Nappa and Raditz by the nape of their necks, one with each hand, and flew both of them away. The throwing direction is exactly the direction where Son Goku and others are leaving. What are you doing? Bulma frowned. Intuition tells her that Namek has a big problem now, and it will even endanger her life. Hey, nothing will happen. Vegeta said indifferently. Let Goku and the others explore the way first, and clean up the trash fish by the way, and finally I will come out and finish it. After all, the hero is always at the last moment. Come on. For those Chu Yi, Dodoria, Sabo, Kanuate, etc., Vegeta is not interested at all, so let Son Goku and the others deal with it. As for the final Frieza, they couldn't beat Son Goku anyway. In the end, Vegeta must be the one to shoot. And the purpose of his trip is Frieza. Of course, if Son Goku still becomes Super Saiyan like the original, it would be even better. It doesn't matter whether Frieza is dead or not, Vegeta can also use the Super Son Goku to practice. Perfect. If you say that. Then I'm relieved. Bulma glanced at Vegeta and relaxed. She thought that Vegeta was still unwilling to make a move like that time, so she must be worried about her safety. But now that she knew that Vegeta would not stand by, she could put her heart back in her stomach. Speaking of which, Namek's environment is really good. Vegeta looked around and couldn't help but exclaimed. So it was a matter of course that the two of them started taking a walk to see the scenery, pointing to the surrounding environment, and they had a good time. On the other side, Son Goku sensed the anger of Vegeta and Chu Yi midway, and left the group directly and flew in the direction of Vegeta. But Klin and the others, like the original book, rescued Dend and led Dodoria away. The difference from the original is that after getting a distance from Frieza, he can easily sling the 20,000 strength Dodoria by himself. As a result, Son Goku and Vegeta reached a temporary cooperation agreement and rushed over together. Dodoria tells the truth about Saiyan's destruction, and is blasted into scum by Vegeta's anger and ki blast. After that, they went to the Great Elder together. Son Gohan, Keelan, Tien Shinhan, and Dumplings have all developed their potential and their strength has increased greatly. Son Goku's strength exceeds the Great Elder, and the Great Elder cannot help. As for the three Saiyans, Vegeta, Nappa, and Raditz, because the aura is evil, the Elder refuses to help them develop their potential. Although it has changed a lot and the number of people is different, the direction is still the same. Vegeta's face was thoughtful. Although he couldn't see what Son Goku and the others did, he could roughly tell what happened through his breath sensing. As for himself, he had a great time traveling with Bulma. Bulma was also completely let go, like a happy magpie, chirping and laughing endlessly, forgetting Son Goku and others. When Vegeta looked far away, she would look at Vegeta in a trance from time to time, and the screams of emotion in her eyes, obsessed? Alright. In fact, with Vegeta's strength, how could it not be noticed? I found out a long time ago. It's just that he was thinking about a very serious question. With his appearance and charm, if this matter is broken, will Bulma throw him in his arms every minute, and by the way, will he be FA rectified on the spot? Nowadays, Namek is full of the smell of war and smoking. It's too much for them to travel here to see the scenery, okay. If we fight another wild. Cough cough. Thinking of this, Vegeta could only stare without squinting, as if he hadn't noticed. Surprisingly, something went wrong when Vegeta's thoughts went wrong. I found you, Vegeta. A figure suddenly appeared behind them. The two looked back, and it was Son Goku. It's just that his shape is a bit strange, he even wore the kind of detector that Saiyan wore when he first came to Earth. Son Jun, didn't you say that you are not used to the detector? Why do you still wear this outdated one now? Bulma was puzzled, always feeling something strange. A weird look rose on Vegeta's face. What is the situation, Keanu? I sensed the breath carefully, and it seemed to be true. After Son Goku and his party left the Grand Elder, they seemed to have encountered Sabo and Ginyu. Son Goku was obviously careless again, and Ginyu had his body exchanged. Now Klin and the others are fighting chaotically with other members of the special team, and they are far away from each other. And Son Goku, whose body was changed, dragged the crippled body of Kenu, hanging far behind, and was coming here. In other words, Keanu led Son Goku out of the battlefield, completed the body exchange without everyone noticing, and then directly found Vegeta here. I'm curious, why did you know me? And what is the purpose of looking for me? Vegeta asked Bulma, who was about to move forward, raising his eyebrows at Kinho. He's not. The clever Bulma soon realized that something was wrong, and quickly shut up, and drew back quietly. Hey hey. Ginyu suddenly laughed strangely. The person who can be treated specially by King Frieza is really different, so alert. I originally planned to use this body to confuse you, while you were not prepared to launch a sneak attack. I didn't expect it to be seen through by you at a glance. Special treatment by Frieza? Vegeta raised his brow. But he soon understood that he probably learned of his existence through Vegeta's detector, knowing that his strength is far better than Son Goku and the others, so he thought about it differently. But, in that case, why did Vegeta dare to come to him? Don't you believe that he has that kind of strength? Sure enough. I heard Ginyu say very soon. The King Frieza said that our Ginyu team is not your opponent, and wants to use your power to destroy our spirit, but I think that with your thin body, it can be shredded with just one hand. Vegeta couldn't help but laugh, and the ignorant was meaningless. Then, I really want to know, how do you tear me apart with one hand, or do you use the turf next did? Vegeta's expression on his face made Bulma chuckle and laugh. How to tear one hand? Is this guy here to be funny? Asshole. Dare to tease Master Ginyu. Ginyu was so angry that he wanted to do it when he became angry. At this time, Son Goku, who was dragging Kainu's crippled body, arrived. Baguette, Bulma, don't believe him, I'm Son Goku, and that guy changed my body. Son Goku yelled before he got closer, fearing that Vegeta would be fooled by them. Bulma rolled his eyes and said, Son Jun, do you think anyone is as stupid as you? Of course we can see it. With Vegeta by his side, Bulma was so courageous that he didn't regard Ginyu as a threat at all. That's it. Then I don't worry, Vegeta is really good. Son Goku breathed a sigh of relief, not at all angry at Bulma's words. It just so happens that since you are here, then I will serve you all in one pot, and then Lord Frieza will definitely look at me with admiration. Ginyu clenched his fist and smiled. Let you see the power of this body. This is a powerful body with 300,000 combat power. In the previous battle with Keanu, Son Goku exploded Kaioken twice in order to brush up on his superiority. So in the impression of Ginyu, Son Goku's body is a powerful existence with 300,000 combat power. Oh. Diddy. Bulma used an invisible detector to probe the Keanu of Son Goku's body, and the result showed that his combat power was 45,000. This is what you call 300,000 combat power. Bulma had a weird expression, she wanted to laugh but was embarrassed to laugh. Not to mention only 45,000, even if it is 300,000, facing Vegeta, he can only sing and conquer. So Bulma didn't worry at all, but felt that the funny scene before him was so funny how he looked at it. Keanu, don't bother in vain. Just like I can't adapt to your body, you can't use my body's power at all. Son Goku persuaded me with all his heart. Only I can use my tricks, so I'm still using my body. Change it back, it's good for us. Less long-winded. Ginyu also found that the situation seemed different from what he thought, so his face was a bit ugly. But he wasn't particularly worried. It was not the first time he used the ability to exchange bodies. The body exchanged with Son Goku was also exchanged from someone else. Just give him time and let him adjust to this body slowly, and he will be able to exert his strength. Of course, tricks such as Kamehameha and Kaioken are impossible, but the power of the body can. It's just that I didn't adapt to the strength first, and hurried over to find Vegeta, which was a bit miscalculated. I'm sorry, Vegeta, I'm afraid I need your help this time. I don't have any strength at all now. Seeing that he couldn't persuade Keanu, Son Goku could only ask Vegeta for help. Ginyu is too cruel. Before exchanging his body, he destroyed his physical body to half his life. Son Goku can run here even if it is powerful. Vegeta stretched out a hand and turned his palm to Keanu. Or I will kill him directly. Then you will ask Shenron to resurrect the body and then change it back. Son Goku looked embarrassed, and I said, is this too troublesome? Or think of a way to get Ginyu to change it back by himself. I think the method you said is more troublesome. Vegeta was serious. Killing Ginyu was only a momentary matter. It took him to take the initiative to replace his body, but it had to go through countless calculations. It was easier to kill him directly. Son Goku choked speechlessly. He found that asking for Vegeta's help seemed to be wrong. Asshole, don't underestimate me. Ginyu was furious and fired a huge energy bomb in the direction of Vegeta, also including Bulma. Bulma was so frightened that Hwoarang turned pale, and quickly hid behind Vegeta. Fortunately, Vegeta did not panic at all and gave her a sense of security, otherwise she would be paralyzed by scare. Vegeta just stretched out his hand slightly, grabbed the energy bomb in his hand, and then gently squeezed it. With a poof, the energy bomb dissipated invisible with a muffled sound. How is it possible? Kinney's eyes widened in an instant, and his face was full of horror. At this time he remembered what Frieza had said to him again, and finally believed that it was all true. There is an insurmountable gap between the two. Run. Without a word, Kinho burst into a cloud of white flames, rushing to the distance at the fastest speed. He already understands it, not to mention that he hasn't completely adapted to this new body yet. Even if he adapts, he might not be Vegeta's opponent. Can you run? Vegeta's figure flashed, and he stopped in front of Kinho. This terrifying speed is far beyond the understanding of ordinary people, and it is no different from instant transmission. However, unexpectedly, Ginyu didn't panic at all, but smiled triumphantly. You are fooled. Exchange. He opened his arms and opened his mouth wide, and a white light came out of his mouth, shooting at Vegeta at a very fast speed. The two were already close, and the white light hit Vegeta before he could even react. No, Vegeta, be careful. Son Goku's face changed drastically in an instant, because he had been swapped in this way before. But because of his current physical condition, and the fact that Keanu and Vegeta have rushed out for a certain distance, he wants to rush over like the original book, and take the opportunity to change back to his body cannot do it. However, Vegeta is not Son Goku, how could he be unprepared? When the white light jetted out from Kino's mouth, an energy shield appeared on Vegeta. This is something that even the destruction of Beerus's full energy form can be slightly contended. Exchange. Joke. The white light hit the energy shield without causing any fluctuations. Afterwards, Vegeta stretched out his hand and caught the white light directly in his hand. What? This is impossible. In the white light, Kino's sharp roar and boundless panic were heard. This was the first time he encountered this situation. Even if Frieza couldn't exchange it, he would return without success at best, and would suffer a little bit of backlash. But now, his exchange ability has been completely cracked. Soul? Vegeta looked at the struggling white ball of light in his hand, but he didn't have much surprise. The so-called exchange is to use the power of rules to complete the transfer between souls. Simple and rude, without too many technical problems. Just a little bit of induction. Vegeta knew that he could use this ability completely, but it was very tasteless. This skill is only useful for people with weak souls. Either you can only choose to start with weak scum, or just like Dragon Ball Super's Tagma, it is weak scum, but has great potential. If Vegeta is crossing into an ordinary person, he can still use this ability to exchange for Saiyan. But now, who is he going to exchange? Who can compare with Vegeta? Trash. Vegeta made a very pertinent evaluation of this skill. Impossible, it is absolutely impossible. Gina, who has turned into a soul light group, has not accepted the reality until now, because even Frieza can't do that. Is it possible that this Vegeta is much better than King Frieza? Keanu certainly didn't believe that there would be such a thing, so he couldn't understand the current situation. Vegeta didn't care about him, grabbing Jinyu's soul, and lifting the body of Son Goku, who had become an empty shell, and came to Son Goku's side. Don't move. Vegeta held Son Goku and lined up the two bodies. Vegeta, who had figured out the exchange principle, easily helped Son Goku to exchange his body back. Really changed it back. Thank you so much, Vegeta, you are really much better than me. Son Goku's body was not injured, so after switching back, he happily jumped on the spot, and hit several sets of combos. As for Keanu. Goku, here's this thing for you. Vegeta sealed Kino's soul with energy, and then gave it to Son Goku. What is this? Son Goku has not directly touched the soul source, nor has he noticed that Jinyu's body has become an empty shell. You use Ki Blast to see if you can break him up. Vegeta squinted at him. What do you want to test? Son Goku gritted his fists and did a few warm-up actions. Well, I'll try it. Tortoise Pai Chi Gong Wave Boom. Jinyu's soul light group didn't hold on for a second, and was directly broken up. Of course, Ginyu would not be completely annihilated, but he was going to the underworld to report. What? It's very weak. I used less than half of the power and it's gone. Son Goku hasn't figured out the situation yet. Idiot. Bulma could understand. That must be the soul of Kinho, right? He is dead now. It's really true. Son Goku found out, and then curiously said, Vegeta, why don't you try to kill him and lie to me? Although it is not a big deal, Son Goku has never liked to lie since he was a child. I just asked you to break him up, what did you lie to? Vegeta rolled his eyes, and then said, keeping this guy is a big trouble, maybe he has to deal with it again, so I can only kill it. But I haven't killed anyone. If you don't do it, Do you expect Bulma? I can't do such a thing. Bulma jumped up in shock and waved his hands again and again. However, no one expected her. Son Goku suddenly realized. He said in praise, "You have such a strong strength, you have never killed anyone." Sure enough. My intuition is correct, you are indeed a good person. But you can say it clearly, is it necessary to hide it? Although he doesn't kill much, it doesn't mean that he never killed. For example, the Red Silk Army, Piccolo Daimao. It's just that, in a sane state, he is too naive. Even if he kills his companion, he can let it go, just like Vegeta, just like Frieza. Tell you. Vegeta rolled his eyes and said, tell you that you didn't just let him go. If he exchanges with Bulma, can you fight? Son Goku was speechless for a moment. Think about it, if his opponent is Bulma, wouldn't he be able to play well? Bulma was also speechless. You guys said, why use me as an example? Son Goku recovered his body and quickly ran away because Klin and Son Gohan were still fighting. Really, I thought Jun Jun would be very reliable. As a result, there will always be various situations. If you were not here for Vegeta today, the consequences would be really unthinkable. Seeing Son Goku leave, Bulma couldn't help but complain. In fact, after seeing Son Goku grow up, she was moved. In the original work, she also said that she had missed Son Goku when she was dating Yamcha and didn't choose Son Goku. But after all, she still didn't come together with Son Goku, just because Son Goku's character is really not the type she likes. But now Vegeta is naturally the most perfect ideal Prince Charming in her mind, so she will always stick to Vegeta. It's a pity that in her opinion, Saiyan is all elm-headed, and she has done it so obviously, and Vegeta still doesn't say it at all. Of course, Vegeta didn't want to show it, nor was it Lu Shaohui. It's just that now he needs to concentrate on refining the energy in his body, it is best not to be distracted. As for the rest, we will see the situation later. After the trouble with Keanu just now, the two of them didn't have any thoughts about traveling, so Vegeta hugged Bulma and flew to the fighting place together. In fact, through the development of the potential of the Great Elder, Klin and the others have completely surpassed Vegeta in their normal combat power, and are infinitely close to Gith, Bart and others. If the state of potential erupts, just one person will sweep the other Special Forces members except Ginyu. However, they still choose to fight in a normal state, and while tempering their normal combat power, they must also retain their physical strength to guard against possible changes in the future. Klin played Guise, Tien Shinhan played Bart, Son Gohan played Lycum, and finally was a duel of superpowers and superpowers, Dumplings versus Gouda. In addition, the battle between Vegeta and Sob was also inextricably fought. Perhaps stimulated by the words, Vegeta is Super Saiyan, after Vegeta left the Earth, he was seriously injured and his combat effectiveness increased much stronger than the original, reaching 26,000. Sabo has 27,000 combat power after transforming, and the difference between the two is not much, Vegeta is only slightly at a disadvantage. But when he noticed that the stray pieces in his eyes, Klin and others, are now much stronger than him, the unwillingness in his heart turned into anger, and his strength suddenly increased during the battle, which in turn pressed Sabo. Beat. Raditz and Nappa were once again the Eater. In fact, their original intention was to leave Namek, and they had no intention of opposing Frieza. But there is no way, who made them board the thief ship, and now even Vegeta has publicly betrayed Frieza. If they dared to escape at this time, they would definitely be the two who died the worst. After Son Goku rushed back, everyone knew that he had dealt with the strongest captain of Keanu, so Klin and the others broke out with all their strength and quickly killed all the rest. Vegeta is the fastest. He has increased his strength to 32,000 in the battle. Although he is still not as good as Klin and the others, he is the most disparate from his opponent. After everyone discussed it, they decided to steal the Dragon Ball first, and made a wish to bring Piccolo and the gods back to life. When the time comes, there will be no worries, and then find a way to deal with Frieza. When Vegeta and Bulma rushed over, they happened to be going to steal the Dragon Ball, so they quietly followed to watch the good show. Frieza's right and left arms were hung up, although the detectors were destroyed by the Namek, he could not detect it. In the final analysis, Frieza is also a strong man, and his intuition makes him upset and irritated. Don't wait. Frieza threw the 6 Dragon Balls collected in the universe ship, set off alone, and flew towards the position of the Great Elder. No way, the place where the Elder lives is the sign of Namek, it is best to find it. And when he was wearing the detector before, he had already found that location. Frieza's BB car is very fast, almost fleeting in the blink of an eye. When Son Goku and the others came to Frieza's spacecraft, he was long gone. There are 6 Dragon Balls here. Klin took the Dragon Ball radar from Bulma, found the 6 Dragon Balls hidden in the spacecraft, and said, "The last one was hidden in a hidden cave by me. Inside, I'll get it now." The Dragon Ball was given to them by the Great Elder, and was hidden by Klin before encountering the Kanuite team. No way, each of Namek's Dragon Balls is the size of a basketball, so it's not convenient to carry around. Vegeta and Bulma watched from a distance, not directly approaching, nor were they noticed. "Wow, the Dragon Ball here is so big, it's the first time I saw it," Bulma marveled. In fact, it was also the first time that Vegeta met. If you don't inherit the memory of Son Goku and Vegeta, he hasn't even seen the Earth Dragon Ball. But that's the case, just a few glass beads, and only when they get together and summon Shenron can they stimulate the eyeballs a little. So Vegeta's attention was not on Dragon Ball at all. He sensed Frieza's position and found that the plot seemed to be developing in the direction of the original. Frieza went to the Great Elder, and he would definitely be stopped by Naru. Dend took the opportunity to escape, came to find Son Gohan and others, and helped summon Shenron to make a wish. Then Frieza found out that Shenron appeared. After he rushed over, the war broke out. The result was exactly the same as Vegeta's prediction. After Frieza found that Palunga had been summoned, he dropped Naru, who was seriously injured and dying, and rushed back as quickly as possible. Piccolo was resurrected by Namek Shenron's wish, and a teleport was also included to send him to the vicinity of Naru. The two assimilated without a doubt, and Piccolo's combat power instantly exploded to more than 2 million. In the original book, he can sling Frieza in the second form, but here, after the influence of Vegeta, he is stronger and can completely sling Frieza in the third form. He has also become the strongest warrior on Earth, except Vegeta. But before Piccolo arrived, Son Goku and others were swept by Frieza. Even if Son Goku uses 10 times Kaioken for overload, it only has 1.5 million combat power, which is not the opponent of the third form of Frieza at all. "You won't do it yet. Didn't you say that you will do it after Frieza comes?" Bulma was so nervous that the back of her palms and hands were sweaty. The previous battle with Vegeta was already thrilling to see her. Unexpectedly, Frieza is even more terrifying. This force is simply destroying the world. Moreover, Frieza's successive transformations made her feel terrified, even afraid that Vegeta would not be an opponent. She must be suspicious in her heart, but she still tried to convince herself that Vegeta was stronger. Vegeta patted her head lightly. "It's not time to despair. Son Goku is pushing himself beyond the limit. I'm going to be blamed for interrupting him at this time. Don't worry, he has fairy beans on him. He hasn't eaten it yet, which means he has more energy. And another soldier is coming. I can't steal his limelight at this time." Vegeta's calmness gave Bulma a lot of peace of mind. At the same time, she was a little weird. Is there a warrior? Who is it? Palunga didn't say that it brought Piccolo to Namek. So, when Piccolo appeared and took over the battle of Son Goku, everyone was amazed. Especially the power he showed, it shocked everyone. Frieza in the third form is not an opponent at all. At this time, he is being beaten by the newly born Piccolo in various fancy styles. Son Goku watched the blood surge. Okay, just take this opportunity to hit the limit. He ate the fairy beans, and his fighting power soared, surpassing the third form of Frieza and Piccolo in an instant, reaching a height of 5 million. What? That guy Kakarot. Vegeta was most irritated. He was already seriously injured and lying on the ground with a slumped face, but he didn't expect to sense the horror of Son Goku's explosive growth. The warriors from the Earth all had celestial beings. One by one, they were seriously injured after being swept by Frieza. "It's just that I can't join the battle anymore, so I can only watch the battle from a distance." Even Raditz and Nappa, who had just plucked up the courage to join everyone, finally recovered from serious injuries and improved their strength to a certain extent. It's just that everyone selectively ignored Vegeta. Except for Son Goku, everyone sees him upset. How could it be possible to give him fairy beans? Vegeta, whose self-esteem was so strong, couldn't hold back his face and asked for help. So that's it. He can only lie on the ground and watch other people's shows. This is not the same as the original. The original Son Goku has been in the treatment room after being injured by Keanu. He was the main force before Piccolo appeared, and of course he had to take care of it. And now, Vegeta's strength is almost at the bottom. Because Raditz and Nappa have surpassed him, there is only one forever soy sauce party dumplings, and Vegeta can be compared. Damn. I am Prince Saiyan. I am the most talented warrior. These guys, one day I will tear them all up. There were tears of humiliation in Vegeta's eyes, his heart was full of unwillingness and anger, and there was no place to vent. Patter. A footstep fell beside him. Vegeta looked back, and it turned out to be Vegeta. Not reconciled? Want to become stronger, right? There was no expression on Vegeta's face, so he threw a fairy bean directly to him. Then explode. Let Frieza see the true power of Saiyan. The expression on Vegeta's face was dumbfounded, and he didn't understand what Vegeta was thinking. But he was worried that Vegeta would go back, and immediately ate the fairy beans. So many people on the earth have eaten fairy beans, of course he discovered the function of this bean early. Sure enough, like everyone else, after eating the fairy beans, his injuries instantly recovered at a speed visible to the naked eye, and the strength in his body continued to rise, far surpassing the previous, and also surpassing the third form Frieza and the newborn Piccolo. Vegeta felt it briefly. Vegeta recovered this time, and his combat power exploded from 32,000 to 3 million. Sure enough, vision and mentality are the main reasons that really make Saiyan stronger. However, it will also be limited by the strength of the physical body. After the explosion, it will not be able to continue to improve for a long time, and it is necessary to strengthen the cultivation. Otherwise, as long as it is Saiyan, he can use this method to gain unlimited combat power. Isn't the entire universe Saiyan's world? I won't thank you. The haughty Vegeta dropped these words and yelled directly to join the battle. At this time, Frieza had been forced out of the final form, and Piccolo was given to Ko with the weakest force. The resurrection of Vegeta was almost the same time as Son Goku. So Son Goku and Vegeta joined forces to fight Frieza together. It's a pity that even if the power soared to the height of 3 million, Vegeta still couldn't survive a few rounds, and was easily defeated by Frieza in full condition. Son Goku fully adapted to the load brought by Kaioken 10 times, with up to 50 million combat power, fought extremely fiercely with Frieza at 50% energy state, but still fell into a disadvantage. Because Frieza has a 50% energy state, the combat power is 60 million. In the end, Son Goku used Kaioken 20 times overload, while Frieza used 100% energy state. Son Goku, you are really good, unexpectedly strong, but you can only stop here. Frieza did not expect that the mere Saiyan wild monkey could push him to this point. Sure enough, eliminating Saiyan in advance was a wise decision. It's still early, I can continue fighting. Sun Wu obviously had reached his limit, but he still insisted on not surrendering because he had not been completely defeated. Enough. I don't want to continue this kind of meaningless battle. Frieza already knew the limits of Son Goku. Although it reached a height close to him, it was a lot worse after all. Even if he tried hard, he could not be his opponent. What's more, there was another Vegeta who was not able to make a shot, and Frieza was always on guard. After speaking, he directly probed his hand and grabbed Vegeta not far away. Let's start with you, Vegeta. As punishment for publicly betraying me, I was the first to kill you, and you can just look down. What? Son Goku and others did not expect that Frieza would use this method, starting with someone who had no resistance. Damn it. Frieza, I'm going to kill you. Vegeta struggled in Frieza's hands. It's a pity that he doesn't seem to be able to figure out the situation. Where is he now qualified to challenge Frieza? Don't worry, other people will be with you soon. Goodbye, Vegeta. Frieza had an evil smile on his face, and an energy bomb on his fingertips was rapidly condensing, just aimed at it. Vegeta's heart position. Stop, Frieza. Son Goku almost didn't even think about it, and rushed forward to save someone. Son Goku is defeated. Vegeta knew at a glance that Frieza, the sinister and cunning guy, was calculating Son Goku. But he doesn't plan to make a move. It's okay to let Son Goku eat more of this loss, so he can be more careful in the future. Sure enough, Frieza had a tricky expression on his face. The energy bomb that was originally going to hit Vegeta instantly turned around and hit Son Goku's knee. Boom. Son Goku, who was halfway through, was unstable and fell to the ground in a moment. Damn it. Son Goku tried several times but didn't stand up. His kneecap had been broken. Ho 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 ho. Son Goku, you are so naive. Do you think I really want to kill Vegeta? Frieza threw Vegeta aside, without even looking at it. To him, Vegeta is just an ant, you can kill it anytime, it just depends on your mood. Compared to killing Vegeta, your power makes me feel more troublesome. In order to avoid accidents, I'll get rid of you first. Frieza smiled cheerfully, full of joy. Get rid of Son Goku, and then Vegeta. Although he felt that the power of Son Goku might have surpassed Vegeta, he still put Vegeta in the first place, which was formed by preconceived notions. Kakarot, You really embarrassed us, Saiyan. You missed such a good opportunity just now. Vegeta's face was full of despair. Saiyan never talks about family or friendship. You even kept your hands for my enemy. Saiyan is ashamed. I don't know what Saiyan is like, but I am Son Goku who grew up on the earth. Although Son Goku was unwilling, he did not regret it, let alone change his original intention. Frieza is a ruthless character. No matter whether they have finished or not, they don't even say hello, and they send an energy bomb directly at Son Goku. Son Goku, who has lost his resistance, will definitely die under this energy bullet. Goku, Dad, Klin, Son Gohan and others screamed, but their strengths are so different that they can't save people. Even if it is a freshman Piccolo, Frieza is still too far away from the 100% energy state. Puff. In the end, Vegeta appeared, gently grabbing the energy bomb that Frieza had hit, and squeezing it with his palm, which was directly annihilated. Son Goku, have you forgotten that you still have fairy beans? Vegeta was puzzled. He sent everyone some fairy beans as spares before setting off. Anyway, for fairy beans, knowing how to grow them is no longer a problem for Vegeta, he has as many as he wants. Ah. Oh. I forgot. Son Goku slapped his forehead, quickly took out a fairy bean from his body and ate it, and said in his mouth, but Frieza is really strong. I am not an opponent at all. I can only ask. You, Vegeta. Son Goku really has no other means. 20 times Kaioken is already overloaded. It is good to be able to maintain this state, and it is impossible to go further. Moreover, he had just resurrected from the dying to rise to 5 million, and his physical strength was also overloaded. Even if he ate the fairy beans this time, he did not increase his combat effectiveness. Forget it. I didn't pin my hopes on you. Vegeta waved his hand and told Son Goku to back away. If Frieza is defeated by Son Goku in this way, then why does Vegeta run to Namek? Is it really a tour of the mountains and rivers? Oh. Did you change your shot this time, Vegeta? Frieza didn't care about Son Goku who retreated. He was now focused on Vegeta. Speaking of which, I am quite interested in your strength, don't let me down. Vegeta glanced at him, and said with a smile, I'm afraid it will be me who will be disappointed in the end. So confident. Ho ho ho. Frieza let out a weird smile. Then let's get started. As soon as the voice fell, his figure flickered, and he instantly appeared next to Vegeta, and a whip kick hit him hard. This sinister and cunning guy, even if he doesn't believe that Vegeta has the power to rival him, he still wants to take the lead. Unfortunately, in the eyes of others, Frieza's speed is terrifying, but in Vegeta's view, it is nothing more than that, far incomparable with Beerus. Boom. Vegeta only lifted his arm slightly to block Frieza's full blow. The probing hand grabbed his tail and slammed it on the ground, followed by another kick, kicking it out. Boom 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 boom. It seems that this kick doesn't take much effort, but the effect is quite amazing. Frieza couldn't control his figure at all, and broke several mountain peaks one after another, and was finally buried in a pile of rubble. Okay. So awesome. This is Vegeta's power? It's terrifying. Sure enough, I didn't guess wrong. Vegeta is the strongest. Vegeta's light lifting move made the soldiers excited, and the pressure Frieza had put on them before was also wiped out. Son Goku's eyes were also bright, and his blood boiled. How strong is this Vegeta? I really want to fight him seriously. Boom. Frieza blew up the gravel and floated from the ground, anger erupting in her eyes. There are many scars on his body, and he looks quite embarrassed. Although it was because of his carelessness, he was beaten up after only one face-to-face meeting, which made his face a little unbearable. Baguette, I'm going to kill you. Frieza roared and rushed again, his energy exploded, and a rich purple flame rose up. Vegeta's expression is also a little more serious. Frieza, who is at his full strength, is still somewhat worth seeing. At least in the case of not using his original power, Vegeta had to do his best. This is why he came to Frieza. If you can't give him enough pressure, this battle will be meaningless. Well, in that case. A powerful aura exploded on Vegeta, and the white flames rose up and rushed towards Frieza. Diddy. The detectors of Klin and others are beating frantically. Frieza's combat effectiveness has long been detected. 120 million. It is the strength of Frieza in a 100% energy state. And now, Vegeta's combat effectiveness, which was nearly zero, has also improved. Combat power. 5 million strength, 100 million. This is the same as when Son Goku used 20 times Kaioken, when Son Goku also had a combat power of 5 million and an intensity of 100 million. Does Vegeta also use a certain ability similar to Kaioken? Actually, the combat power is about the same as Goku? Klin was a little puzzled. Piccolo shook his head and said, no, this is Vegeta's normal combat effectiveness, and he must have some reservations. Piccolo's intuition is very accurate, especially after assimilating Naru. He actually has a certain sense of the power of rules. Hiss. Hearing Piccolo's words, everyone around took a breath. Normal combat power is 100 million in strength, and it is not the strongest. How terrifying is it to burst out with full force? Don't forget that the potential state of Klin and others was taught by Vegeta, and Son Goku was also suggested by him to be sent to the King of Stars to practice. So there is no doubt that Vegeta must have mastered such tricks as potential state or Kaioken. Of course, they didn't know that regardless of the potential state or Kaioken, Vegeta would actually do it. Boom. At this time, Vegeta and Frieza's fists met each other, exploding with shocking power. The two rays of light, one white and one purple, each occupy half of the sky, and the powerful auras swept all around, forcing everyone to retreat again and again. Son Goku had already given Vegeta a fairy beam, and Vegeta also retreated to watch the battle with everyone. It's just that he is different from other people's faces full of exclamation, but he is very unwilling to grit his teeth. It turns out that you were only at this level. I was worried about it before. Frieza briefly touched Vegeta with a punch, and immediately noticed that Vegeta's power was not much different from that of Kaioken's Son Goku. At most, one just explodes the liver and cannot last for a long time, while the other can reach this level by relying on the strength of the body and can last for a long time. But anyway, it's the same for Frieza, it's not his opponent anyway. Do you think so? Frieza. Vegeta grinned, his heart full of excitement. Sure enough, my guess is correct. If there are opponents of similar strength to fight, the speed of the mixed energy fusion in the body will be much faster. The accumulation of energy during the past year has raised his perception of the power of rules to an extremely deep level, but fusion's efficiency is not high. If he can completely fuse those energies, he can definitely reach the realm of gods immediately. Now that the new energy has increased to a strength of about 100 million, Frieza happens to be a powerful opponent, and it just happens to be used to accelerate fusion. Perhaps this battle can be fought a little longer, but it would be better if it can be dragged to full fusion. Looking at you like this, do you, like Son Goku, have that red anger? Frieza's surface was calm, but his heart still thumped. The strength of Vegeta under normal conditions is very close to him. If he becomes that red again, wouldn't it be far beyond him? Who knows? Vegeta smiled, did not answer directly, just raised his fist and fought with Frieza again. The collision with the full punch just now made the energy in the body fusion a lot, and when they stopped, they returned to normal, so now Vegeta can't wait to fight a continuous and protracted battle. If Kaioken is directly exposed and Frieza is easily killed, wouldn't it be wasted if I went all the way to Namek? Frieza didn't know this. Seeing that Vegeta hadn't transformed, he felt relieved now. With a sneer in his heart, he immediately broke out to fight with Vegeta with all his strength. 120 million to 100 million. But the situation is completely different from when Son Goku was playing. Vegeta didn't see any weakness at all, but had a slight advantage. After all, Son Goku uses Kaioken, which is still overloaded, his energy is not stable, his body is still in severe pain, which greatly affects his strength. Unlike Vegeta, his power is real, and he still compresses energy, which is much stronger than ordinary chi. In this way, it is easy to understand that Vegeta has the upper hand. However, Vegeta constricted a little bit and didn't despair Frieza. Otherwise the plan for a protracted battle would be frustrated. Bang bang bang. The muffled sound of fists and feet collided constantly in the air. Each time it caused the air to explode, causing a strong hurricane to be rolled up on Namek, and even the climate was slowly changing. It's a fierce battle, I can't keep up with their speed. Klin's forehead was full of cold sweat. He was really far from this level, and he couldn't understand at all how such a realm was raised. The freshman Piccolo can barely keep up, but it's only a little bit. He observed for a while, and said in a deep voice, I don't know why, Vegeta hasn't shown his true strength, and seems to be teasing Frieza. If this continues, I'm afraid this battle will be endless. Son Goku also saw it. Does he have any other plans? But there is really no way to tell the winner in a short time, shall we just look at it? His original intention was actually to join the battle. Although he had already lost a moment ago, he couldn't help his whole body cells beating when he saw this kind of scene. Kakarot, I advise you not to think too much. Both of them are monsters. Even if you are already very strong, you can't get involved in this level of battle. Vegeta is still gritting his teeth. His glass heart had been broken many times, but he still couldn't get used to it. Every time he sees someone who is better than him, especially much better than him, he will have an unknown fire. Piccolo was about to say something, but Son Goku suddenly smiled. How can I know if I don't try it? After speaking, he actually rushed out like this. 20 times Kaioken. The red flames rose suddenly, and Son Goku's situation seemed to be better than last time. Although it was still somewhat reluctant, it was not as painful as before. Baguette. I'm here too. Son Goku screamed and rushed forward and punched Frieza directly, but Frieza hit his face with a backhand and flew out again with a swish. But he was not a person who gave up easily, and soon regrouped and rushed forward again. Damn it. This damn Kakarot. Vegeta actually wanted to rush out regardless, but he couldn't do it. He doesn't have Kaioken, and with only 3 million combat power, he can't stand the aftermath of the battle between the two sides, and he can't get close to the battlefield at all. Son Goku, don't get in the way. Vegeta kicked Son Goku away. He was really speechless to this guy. He was beaten and his blood boiled with enthusiasm. Come again if you have the ability to become Super Saiyan, then I will give you Frieza. Ah. What are you doing, Vegeta? Son Goku didn't guard Vegeta at all, and flew out again. But this time he flew out closer to Frieza, his eyes turned, and his body turned to Frieza. I'm sorry. Vegeta, grab your opponent. Son Goku smiled, and soon fought with Frieza. Vegeta almost couldn't help going over to Frieza 2 versus 1 and jointly beat Son Goku. What is this guy's brain circuit like? Do you think he is playing around? But after all, he held it back, but stopped in place helplessly. Well, the energy fusion rate is 10%, so fast. After a little sensing of the situation in his body, Vegeta could not help being surprised. You know, the energy fusion degree was only 1% in the previous year. In other words, it takes a whole 100 years to wait for them to complete fusion on their own. The fight just now took less than 10 minutes to complete 9%. So, 1 minute of fierce battle is equivalent to 1 year of automatic energy fusion? In this way, he doesn't need to worry. Even if Frieza is robbed, he can wait for Son Goku to transform into Super Saiyan, and then he can practice against him. Just 1.5 hours is enough, so Son Goku will be very happy. In addition, as time goes by, the more energy fusion, the stronger Vegeta can play. Just now, I was suppressing my strength and fighting with Frieza. This is the main reason Vegeta acquiesced to Son Goku's grab. As a result, Vegeta still overestimated Son Goku, but he persisted for a few rounds, and the load brought by 20 times Kaioken could no longer bear. Oops. The red light flashed on Son Goku's body, converged in an instant, and Frieza punched him in the face. With a loud noise, Son Goku hit the ground heavily, smashing a huge pit. HMPH, I won't give you a third chance. Frieza was also fierce, and a huge energy bounce was not enough. After the explosion, he plunged down suddenly and continued to hit the huge pit that Son Goku had fallen. Even if Son Goku has been killed by the energy bomb, he will whip the corpse. Goku. Dad. The expressions of Klin, Son Gohan and others changed drastically, but Piccolo shouted, Son Goku, eat fairy beans. It's too late. Frieza laughed weirdly. He had already seen Son Goku in the ruins. He was indeed still alive. He only had a sigh of relief, but he wanted to take out the fairy beans from his arms, which was very difficult to do with his current injuries. And Frieza arrived in a flash, and would never give Son Goku a chance. Frieza, die to me. Several energy bombs exploded on Frieza's body, but it was Vegeta who shot it. He, the arrogant Prince Saiyan, couldn't bear the feeling of being ignored, and was always looking for opportunities to shoot. It's a pity that the strengths are so different that Frieza didn't even look at it, letting the energy bounce on him without any damage. Damn it. Vegeta slammed a punch to the ground, his face full of unwillingness. Enough, Frieza, your opponent is me. Vegeta's figure flashed, he had reached Frieza's side, and kicked over. At the critical moment, it still depends on Vegeta. Boom. Frieza turned around for the first time, with his arms in front of him, but he was kicked out by Vegeta's kick. I've been guarding you a long time ago, do you think I will be unprepared? However, the corners of his mouth rose slightly at this moment. Not good. His goal is Goku. The bystanders cleared up Klin and others, and they saw Frieza's intentions all at once. Frieza deliberately took Vegeta's kick, but adjusted his position and rushed towards Son Goku at a faster speed. Why bother? Vegeta sighed. This Frieza is really no one. He obviously has the hard power, so he has to do things and do some tricks. In fact, at this time Vegeta could use instant transmission to rush to the front, but he did not do so, instead letting Frieza rush to Son Goku. Because he saw that Frieza was not trying to kill Son Goku. Sure enough, Frieza didn't shoot directly, but grabbed Son Goku by the neck, then looked at Vegeta and smiled triumphantly. Ho ho ho. What should I do? I'm hostage again. The energy bullets condensed on his fingertips, aimed directly at Son Goku's heart. It's also a threatening drama. Leave me alone, Vegeta, kill him. Son Goku was also murdered at this time. People like Frieza cannot stay, otherwise they will be very dangerous in the future. How? Are you listening to him or giving up resistance? Frieza didn't care about Son Goku's attitude, just smiled and looked at Vegeta. Call out. The answer to him was a finger chi bomb, a qigong bomb fired from Vegeta's fingertips. What? Frieza's complexion changed slightly, and although he fled away at the critical moment, there was still a scar on his face. Vegeta also smiled, shook his head and said, Frieza, you really disappointed me. I thought you were the emperor of the universe, and you should have enough knowledge. Unfortunately, I misunderstood you. What do you mean? Frieza looked gloomy and seemed to be underestimated. I just want to say that you were at this level. It's boring to fight with you. Vegeta shook his head and said, besides, I don't care about Son Goku's life or death. Anyway, even if he is dead, I can still use Dragon in the future. Ball is resurrected. Because Frieza suddenly appeared, the great elder Namek was upset and died early, so Palenga only fulfilled his wish to resurrect Piccolo and then disappeared. However, Piccolo was resurrected and Shenron of the Earth was also resurrected, and Dragon Ball can still be used. Ha ha ha. Frieza, you miscalculated. Vegeta over there suddenly laughed. Baguette standing in front of you is the legendary Super Saiyan, the most perfect warrior. How can it be a woman? Do you think it's the kind of fool like Kakarot? Frieza, you're done, in front of Super Saiyan, your end is here. After being unwilling to do so, Vegeta finally realized the reality. In his opinion, the strength is a mystery, and there is no way to see the details of Vegeta, it is definitely Super Saiyan. Call out. A finger bullet penetrated Vegeta's heart. Father. Frieza. You. Vegeta's eyes widened, never thinking that he would end his life like this. Impatient. Frieza snorted coldly, flew Son Goku, and threw it directly beside Vegeta. I hate Super Saiyan who you said and shut up the most. Who do you think I am, Frieza? Even if there is Super Saiyan, it won't be my opponent. I was just playing with you just now. I didn't expect to be underestimated by you. Forget it, let you see the real horror of my universe, Emperor Frieza. He twisted his neck, his expression finally became serious. Unfortunately, Vegeta has lost interest in Frieza. Because what he wants is a frontal anal punch to the flesh. Frieza can't do this at all, as long as it is a little troublesome, he will be confused. Vegeta, for the sake of Saiyan, do you still have any wishes that you haven't realized? Vegeta looked at Vegeta, and did not choose to save his life with fairy beans. Perhaps, after dying once, Vegeta will be able to understand the true meaning of life. Anyway, it won't take long for the Earth Dragon Ball to be wished by them to revive the people killed by Frieza's gang, including the current Vegeta, of course. In the original book, Vegeta also died once. After arriving on Earth, his personality slowly changed. Otherwise, with his original character, how could he value family affection? How could Bulma look at it? Vegeta's eyes were already distracted, and suddenly there was a little more focus. Are you? In the end, are you Super Saiyan? This question is definitely what he most urgently wants to know. Vegeta nodded slightly. Then let you see clearly. Boom. A flash of electric light flashed, and Vegeta suddenly turned into a state of blonde and blue eyes. All his hair was upside down except blue Y, and his body was rising with golden flames. This sudden change, and the sudden explosion of breath, directly stunned everyone. The so-called Super Saiyan is actually just a state of transformation. As long as the strength reaches a certain level, after some stimulation, you can transform. In this state, the strength is 50 times the normal. Vegeta glanced at Vegeta and said calmly, on your terms, as long as you continue to cultivate, one day you will be able to reach this state. 50 times. All the people present took a breath of air, and at this time they could no longer estimate the specific strength of Vegeta. The potential state of the Earthlings was turned into a slag in front of Super Saiyan. Frieza's pupils shrank sharply, and his brain exploded. 100 million is 50 times, is it 5 billion? He has just gotten serious. Should he do this? How can he fight this? Do you use your head? Origin. Come. So. Vegeta suddenly wanted to laugh out loud. The rumors all the time turned out to be true, and Super Saiyan really is the most powerful fighter, far beyond Frieza's existence. It is enough to know this, however, he is still very unwilling. Because Vegeta was right. After hearing the definition of Super Saiyan, he knew that his talent would one day achieve it, but unfortunately there was no chance. Vegeta was very unwilling, but no matter how unwilling, his heart was penetrated. It was a miracle to be able to hold on for so long. After all, Vegeta was dead. Except for Son Goku, no one will take the initiative to save him. Even Raditz and Nappa won't, because their strength is now far away. Save Vegeta and let the family ride on the head again? Saiyan is very realistic. As for Son Goku, he is hard to protect himself. How can he be able to save others? Oh. Vegeta ignored it, and his heart was full of surprise at this time. Transforming into Super Saiyan, can you speed up the energy fusion speed? Although this speed is not as fast as direct combat, it is several times faster than energy autofusion. Is it because the breath has exploded, and after the power has increased, is the control of the energy stronger? If it is like this, Vegeta laughed suddenly. Just Super Saiyan, did you scare you all? Then if I said, what else is there? What? Almost everyone has a heart attack. Isn't this too exciting? Is a 50-fold turnaround just the first stage of the transformation? When Son Goku heard the news, his complexion instantly turned red, as if he had returned to light. Then he suddenly jumped up, hurriedly took out the fairy beans from his body and ate them. Emma, Klin and the others just remembered at this time. They even forgot Son Goku. Normal people have a little high blood pressure when they hear what Vegeta said, let alone Son Goku who is seriously injured. If it wasn't for the fairy beans, you just died suddenly, right? But Son Goku obviously didn't care about this. He looked at Vegeta with excitement and expectation, and shouted, Baguette, is everything you said is true? Is there a stronger state? Can we let us see it? Just kidding. Is this a joke? It's absolutely impossible. Frieza's horror was already on his face from the inside out. Then let you see it. Vegeta smiled slightly. He just wanted to know, if he continues to transform, the speed of energy fusion will not be faster. So, install a beep by the way, no problem. Boom. The golden arrogance on Vegeta's body expanded sharply, changing from a flame shape to a jet shape, and blue arcs flickered from time to time. There was only one bang left on the front of his forehead, and the rest were all upside down, and his eyes became sharper. This is Super Saiyan E, twice as strong as before. Next, it is Super Saiyan E. What? More. What? Vegeta clenched his fists, and the whole land vibrated violently in the roar. The hair that was originally erected quickly stretched out and spread to the waist. The golden eyebrows disappeared, the eyebrow bones were also lowered, and the whole face was full of fortitude, like a knife. In the single light green eyes, dark blue pupils appeared. The golden arrogance of the whole body turned into light and was fixed, and the blue arc that had flickered from time to time became denser. How? This is Super Saiyan 3. The strength is 4 times that of Super Saiyan 2. That is to say, in this state, my strength is 400 times that of normal. Vegeta is somewhat proud, after all, he is the first. Show off in front of others once. Diddy. Combat power, 24 billion strength, 600 billion. The detectors in the eyes of Klin and others were beating frantically, and the numbers that were finally displayed shocked them one by one. Their mouths opened and they couldn't close together. Guru. Klin swallowed, and said in a daze, how can it be 600 billion strength, shouldn't 400 times be 40 billion? He can remember that when Vegeta fought Frieza before, the combat power was only 5 million, and the intensity was 100 million. But now, what about 400 times as good? Moreover, 40 billion is already dreamlike, and now it has directly exploded to 600 billion, is it going to be against the sky? Do not. Piccolo also has an invisible detector, and his face is also full of horror, but his head is not knotted like Klin's. Maybe this is Vegeta's true strength. The previous 100 million strength was just playing around with Frieza. Now let alone the strength, even on the surface, Vegeta is far above everyone else. It's just that they don't know that the 600 billion combat power intensity is also just the surface strength of Vegeta. Tien Shinhan stared at Three Eyes, and calmly said, I would like to know how his combat effectiveness and strength are so different. Even if Vegeta said, we are not in the realm yet, don't you know? Good thing, but I still can't help being curious. Actually, me too. Klin scratched his head awkwardly. In fact, everyone has the same idea. This is because except for Son Goku's use of Kaioken, there will be a difference in combat effectiveness and strength. No one else has ever experienced this, even if the state of potential is the same. So, what kind of state is this? After understanding, can the strength be increased while ensuring combat effectiveness? Has the energy intensity increased again? At this time, Vegeta was feeling the situation in his body. When he drank Super Saiyan a year ago, he simply completed 20-fold energy compression. But this year, no matter how he tried, he has been maintained at 20 times the state, unable to go any further. Unexpectedly, now that Super Saiyan E has exploded, the energy intensity has actually increased, directly climbing to 25 times. Today the energy intensity is 600 billion, that is to say, it has reached a height of 1.5 billion under normal conditions. Of course, it is still far from being compared with his peak period. But in just 1 year, the newly trained energy can reach this level, so it won't take long to surpass the original strength. In addition to the increase in strength, the energy fusion degree has also directly risen to 12%, and the fusion efficiency is dozens of times faster than before. If this situation continues, even if he does not actively seek out opponents for fierce battles, but waits for the energy to automatically fusion, he can complete all fusions in 2 or 3 years. Of course, the premise is to maintain the Super 3 form, but this is obviously impossible. In the Super 3 state, even if there is no battle, energy will be lost at an extremely fast rate, and it will not last for long. Therefore, in the original work, Son Goku rarely uses Super 3 to fight. Super Saiyan with golden arrogance. That's why it's no wonder that our ancestors left such last words. Frieza looked a little stunned. But soon, his expression became savage. However, even Super Saiyan, it is impossible to survive in the universe, right? Frieza. What are you going to do? Son Goku immediately felt that something was wrong, and immediately yelled at him. It's too late. Even Vegeta can't stop it. Frieza has a tricky look on his face, and he has returned to his previous posture of the Universe Emperor. Just now, you were immersed in the shock of Super Saiyan's transformation. I have quietly transported the energy underground, directly to the core of the planet. Destroyed. Now this planet will explode in 5 minutes at most, and you will all die by then. What? Everyone present had a heartbeat, and their expressions changed drastically. In 5 minutes, even if they take the Universe spacecraft, they can't escape far. At that time, the aftermath of the planet's explosion will also destroy the Universe spacecraft. It's over. We're done. Raditz shivered. Nappa gritted her teeth and said, "Stop talking nonsense, let's think of a solution quickly. What else can I do? Unless it can be transferred to another planet in an instant, there is only a dead end." Raditz had given up. However, his words made Klin's eyes light up next to him. "By the way, instant transfer, we can let Shenron transfer us to the Earth." Son Gohan wondered. But Namek's Palunga is no longer there. "No, there is Earth Shenron." Piccolo said solemnly. "I have conveyed the meaning to Lord Realm King, and he will help us to tell the other side of the Earth. Do you want to transfer us all back directly?" Klin and others were overjoyed. Piccolo shook his head and said, "No, it's resurrecting those killed by Frieza's gang." "What? As long as this wish is fulfilled, the Grand Elder will be resurrected. At that time, we can also transfer through Palunga together with the Namek people," Piccolo explained. "I see." Only then did Klin and others understand, and they were amazed at Piccolo's wise and calmness. It's just that this time is in a hurry, only 5 minutes. On the other side, Son Goku exploded 20 times Kaioken, and fought with Frieza. Vegeta was considering whether to make a move. He also didn't expect Frieza to be so insidious that he would use his transformation to quietly destroy the core of the planet. Who can think of this? At that time, because of his transformation, energy and breath were disordered, even Vegeta could not detect Frieza's small movements. On the surface, he was afraid of panic, but in fact he was quietly braving the bad water. Sure enough, this guy Frieza is completely bad enough to break through the sky. 20 times Kaioken. Son Goku was in a desperate posture, and Frieza retreated steadily. For the third time he used Kaioken over 20 times with overload. His body slowly began to adapt. Even if the combat effectiveness did not improve, the power he could exert was much more stable. Damn wild monkey, even if you beat me, it's useless. I can survive in the universe, so my chances of surviving are much higher than you. Frieza has never been a positive person, even if his strength lies in Son Goku. Still falling behind. In fact, his 100% energy state can't be maintained for too long, which consumes too much physical strength. From the beginning to now, he has been in this state for a long time, and now he is a little tired, and he has to guard against Vegeta, so from the bottom of his heart, he doesn't want to be entangled with Son Goku. But Son Goku didn't care about him. While launching a fierce attack, he shouted at Vegeta, "Baguette, what is the key to becoming Super Saiyan? You said before that as long as the strength is reached, it will go through some kind of transformation can be accomplished with stimulation. What does this stimulus refer to?" "Oh?" Vegeta raised his brow slightly. "Son Goku, is this going to try Super Saiyan's transformation? Think about it. Although Son Goku's savvy is not the best in the Dragon Ball world, it is also among the best. When he can't use chi, and he can't perceive chi, he can display it by just looking at Master Roshi's Kamehameha. In the Dragon Ball Super, I also learned how to be free even the gods can't control. Now if there is a certain feeling after watching Vegeta's transformation, he can transform into it with a little guidance, Vegeta can accept it completely. Moreover, he also wants to know whether Son Goku can really succeed in the case of immortality. So he did not hide it, and directly announced the answer. Anger, extreme anger is the key. Angry? Son Goku kicked Frieza into the air, and then he floated high in the sky, quietly closing his eyes, and even Kaioken was taken back by him, and he returned to normal. At this moment, the sky suddenly dimmed, and Namek, who had never been at night, turned miraculously dark. In Vegeta's induction, breath after breath suddenly appeared, and it quickly reached nearly 100 people. Finally, not far from the horizon, a huge green fat lizard appeared. "Baguette, Son Goku." Piccolo below suddenly shouted, "Earth Shenron has resurrected Palunga. Next, we are going to make a wish to transfer everyone except Frieza to Earth. What do you think?" When they finished making their first wish, Frieza rushed over, and Palunga died on the spot. Now Palunga is resurrected, of course it is nearby. Piccolo can speak Namek, so you can make your wish without waiting for other Namek people to come over. Vegeta took a look at Son Goku, whose breath was rising, and a faint golden light flashed. It seems that as long as you give him some more time, he will be able to complete the transformation. "You go back, I stay with Goku," Vegeta said, "and Frieza is here, it must be solved." Piccolo also heard what Frieza said just now, knowing that Frieza can survive in the universe, and the explosion of the planet should not have much effect on him. With Frieza's temperament, it really should be resolved, otherwise it will be a disaster for the Earth in the future. "Then you take care of yourself." Piccolo's mouth raised slightly. "If you die, I will let them use Dragon Ball to save you." Vegeta raised his brows. How did these words sound so familiar? Oh, by the way, when he was experimenting with potential state, he said the same thing to Klin. Unexpectedly, Piccolo would be joking now, it really changed after the freshman, there was progress. "Let me Frieza gain eternal life." Suddenly, a loud roar drew everyone's attention. After seeing the situation clearly, everyone couldn't help but their complexion changed slightly. Frieza, the old Yin Beep, unexpectedly played tricks before anyone else was prepared. After recognizing Namek Shenron, he sneaked over to make a wish. Unfortunately, Palunga of Namek can only make wishes in Namek, and other languages will be ignored. So, when nothing happened after making a wish, and everyone looked at him coldly, Frieza was a bit Spartan. Piccolo didn't want to have many dreams at night, so he took the opportunity to grumble for a while. "Oh, I understand." A red light flashed in Palunga's eyes and said, "Except for these 3 people, all the people moved to the Earth." Hey, wait. The newly resurrected Vegeta finally figured out the situation. He pointed to Son Goku, who was faintly golden light on the sky, and shouted, "Baguette, what's the matter with Kakarot? Hurry up, tell me." There is a very bad intuition in his heart. Kakarot is going to become Super Saiyan? How can this be possible for a low-level fighter? What happened during the time he died? It's a pity that he didn't wait for Vegeta to answer, and even Vegeta didn't want to answer him. Under Palunga's ability, except Vegeta, Son Goku and Frieza, everyone else disappeared, including Palunga himself. Ah, damn bastard. Frieza watched Piccolo and they disappeared before their eyes, and Palunga was gone, but he didn't get the immortality he wanted, and suddenly furious. Vegeta smiled and said, "Frieza, you should save the province, no one will cooperate with you to achieve your wish. Besides, Namek's Dragon Ball has limited abilities. Even if you really get immortality through it, I will still can wipe you out." What? Frieza hadn't thought about this at all. There are limits to Dragon Ball's abilities. Of course there is a limit, otherwise the Namek people will be bullied by you. They just have to make a wish to make you disappear. Vegeta looked at him with a foolish expression. That's it. Frieza gritted his teeth. So even if I get immortal, at best I will stay young at best. As long as I am stronger than me, I can still kill me. You are smart, Frieza. Vegeta raised an eyebrow and smiled. Frieza always felt despised. Boom. At this moment, a thunder and lightning suddenly descended from the horizon, and a golden light rose suddenly in the blink of an electric light. What? Frieza was shocked. Son Goku really turned into Super Saiyan. In just a few minutes. Yes, Son Goku did succeed. With the golden light rising, he instantly entered a Super 1 state, with blonde hair and blue eyes, and a rather cold expression. As this? Super Saiyan? Son Goku looked at his palm and felt the power surging from his body. He couldn't help but be amazed. It's really powerful. However, Son Goku, who was transformed for the first time, couldn't suppress the killing intent rising in his body. With boundless anger, but with a calm mind, this feeling is very contradictory and uncomfortable. He didn't know what he would do in this state, and he might even do something that would make him regret for life. Baguette. How do I control the emotions after the transformation? Son Goku was a little bit square. Even if he became Super Saiyan, his strength was unprecedentedly strong. He still subconsciously regarded Vegeta as a guide for adult life. After all, Vegeta can change even Super Saiyan. However, Vegeta was also confused. What mood? Isn't it the same as usual? Oh yes, I remember. He slapped his forehead, and there will be no mood swings when he transforms, because he has super full power. But soon he found in his memory about Son Goku and Vegeta's first transformation, and the feeling quickly became clear. Don't deliberately control it, just be yourself. Vegeta said. In the state of Super Saiyan, your mind will be very clear and calm, so you won't do anything out of the ordinary. Don't worry about it at all. When you adapt to this state in the future, you won't feel contradictory. Ends. In the original book, Son Goku's first transformation is a big change in personality. He knew very well himself, and was worried that something bad would be done, so he drove Son Gohan away as soon as possible. Is that so? Then I can rest assured. Son Goku turned his head and looked at Frieza. Now he has transformed into Super Saiyan. His combat power has been directly increased by 50 times. Frieza has become very weak in his eyes. After all, the original book he is the normal state of 3 million combat power. But here, it is 5,250,000,000 after the transformation, and the combat power is directly twice that of Frieza. Haha. Frieza laughed awkwardly, but didn't panic too much. Because at this time, the time from the explosion of the planet is almost approaching. What if you kill me? If you can't survive in the universe, you are all dying. Frieza seemed to have accepted his fate, and seemed to be doing the last dying struggle. If you run away now, maybe there is still time, as long as the speed of the universe spacecraft is fast enough. I really want to continue the fight with you, but now it seems that you are no longer my opponent. Son Goku saw that Frieza had no intention of fighting, and he also relaxed. Baguette, how are we going back? As a result, as soon as he turned around, Frieza's loud shout came from behind. Go to hell, damn wild monkey. An energy bomb was emitted from Frieza's hands, which condensed all his last strength. Frieza knew very well that he was incapable of hurting Vegeta. But Son Goku? Not to mention the injury, even if he is killed, it is possible. Frieza. However, he still underestimated Son Goku or Super Saiyan too much. Son Goku turned around immediately, hitting back with a ki blast, and instantly swallowed Frieza. You are still so naive. Vegeta shook his head and walked over. Hey. Son Goku returned to normal, scratching his head and smiling. Forget it. If you weren't for this character, you wouldn't be called Son Goku. Vegeta didn't want to change him. Everyone has their own cognition. Son Goku is not ignorant, but this is his attitude towards life. Relax. I will use instant transmission to take you back. Vegeta put his hand on Son Goku's shoulder, sensing the direction of the earth. The normal version of instant transmission is based on the perception of breath. The deified version of instant transmission is based on the perception of the opponent. As long as you know the coordinates, you can directly appear at that point. The instant transmission was successfully deployed, Vegeta disappeared, but Son Goku stayed in place with a beeping look. What the hell? When instant transmission came over, Vegeta was shocked when he saw the surroundings. There is nothingness all around. It is still a vacuum zone, except for the strong sense of suffocation. It is also a strong sense of oppression. Also, where did Son Goku go? Didn't they teleport together? Universe space? Did I make a mistake in teleporting? Vegeta couldn't help thinking. As for hypoxia, it's really not a problem for Vegeta. Ordinary Saiyan really cannot survive in the universe, but even the original one can survive on the energy shield. As for now, once the power of the rules moves, everything feels gone. Vegeta has never used instant transmission. If it is a normal version of breath perception, with Son Goku's memory, it will definitely not go wrong. But he tried the deified version of direction perception for the first time. Didn't expect this to be a mistake? Not only teleported to an unknown universe, but also lost Son Goku. Namek should explode now, right? I don't know if Son Goku will have time to escape. Forget it. Anyway, it's the same, the big deal is going back to give him some compensation. But this place. Vegeta looked around, although it was nothing was dark and there were only some scattered stars in the distance. But he still noticed that it seemed to be the location of Namek. Namek. After the explosion, it turned into nothingness, which is understandable, but it doesn't look like it had just exploded. Could it be that I have traveled through time and space again, into the distant future? Vegeta's heart suddenly moved. His instant transmission uses the power of rules to shuttle, which he thinks is the same as Supreme Kai's. But thinking about it now, it seems that it might be different. Because Vegeta's rules imply the rules of time and space. If the space rules were stripped out separately, it might be the same as Supreme Kai, but now there are time rules in it. So, he actually teleported time and space directly? Alright. Vegeta's head is a little big. Let's go back to Earth first. As long as you see Son Goku and the others, you should be able to see what time and space is here. To be honest, even though Teleport made a mistake, Vegeta was still very happy. This allowed him to discover a new ability of his own, to travel through time and space. Active traversal and passive traversal are completely different things. As long as this ability is thoroughly studied, perhaps he can return to his time and space and seek revenge on Beerus. Vegeta put his 2 fingers on the center of his forehead, carefully sensing the Earth's position, and quickly caught a familiar breath. Huh. His figure disappeared in place, and the next time he appeared, he had already reached the Earth. Seeing the situation here, Vegeta was a little dazed. Who are you? When Vegeta arrived, someone immediately became alert. It was Vegeta who was speaking in a middle-aged state, but his appearance was a little strange. She has silver white hair, red lines on her forehead and chin, and her pupils are also red. Next to Vegeta are Piccolo, the young Son Gohan, and Son Gohan? Baguette rubbed his chin and thought for a while, and finally he suddenly said, GT time and space? Baby? So the current timeline is that Baby took advantage of Son Goku to go to the universe to collect Dragon Ball and has not returned yet, planting all the people on the Earth with living eggs, turning them into vassals of the ZVR people, and he himself is possessed by Vegeta. Interesting. Baguette was suddenly interested. The level of fighters in this time and space is very high, even Piccolo's combat power is above the Fat Buu of Dragon Balls. Therefore, he can use this opportunity to merge all the power of the rules. At that time, the ability to teleport in time and space is left. As long as he can analyze it, he can go back. Although he disliked his own time and space at the beginning, people always have their own roots, and his base camp is in that time and space after all. Even if people are not there, they must have the ability to go back at any time. Who are you? Why do you suddenly appear here? Vegeta Baby became a little impatient when he saw Vegeta not speaking. Now all the people on Earth have been planted live eggs by him, but this one who appeared suddenly is an exception, so he must figure it out. And from the sense of breath, this person seems to be very difficult. But before Vegeta could answer, he waved his hand and said, forget it, when I plant you with live eggs, you will take the initiative to confess. Son Gohan, try his strength. Yes, baby. Son Gohan smiled without saying hello, suddenly transformed into Super Saiyan, and punched Vegeta with a single flash. Diddy. Combat power, 50 billion strength, 80 billion. Because Son Gohan moved too fast, Vegeta didn't have time to transform, so he just folded his arms in front of him, and Son Gohan flew out with a punch. Boom. Vegeta crashed into a small mountain and was buried alive inside. Of course, such an attack did not affect him much, and soon he walked out of the ruins without any damage. Super 1 has a combat power of 50 billion, so the normal state is only 1 billion, which is really the weakest in GT time and space. However, the 30 billion more strength should be a bonus after being demonized by Baby. Vegeta made a simple judgment, and it happened that his normal combat strength was only 1.5 billion without using his original strength, but he could fight Son Gohan well. What? Are you okay? Son Gohan was taken aback, and was about to rush up again. Piccolo yelled suddenly next to him. Be careful, Gohan, he's also Saiyan. What? Not only Son Gohan was stunned, even Son Gohan and Vegeta baby were also stunned. Piccolo pointed at Vegeta and said, look at him, there is also a tail behind him. Sure enough, as Vegeta walked back step by step, behind him was a monkey tail unique to Saiyan. Vegeta baby's complexion instantly sank. There are still fish that slip through the net in Saiyan, aren't they the only ones on Earth? Son Gohan shook his head and said, we haven't seen him, so I don't know. Forget it, it was meant to solve him. Whether he is Saiyan or not, the ending is the same. And it's even better. My hatred of Saiyan has one more object to vent. Vegeta baby looked grim. He shouted to Son Gohan again. Son Gohan, quickly get rid of him. Seeing you Saiyan monkeys, I can't help but get angry. Yes, Lord Baby. Son Gohan didn't react at all to Baby's words of scolding Saiyan, and because there were live eggs in his body, he actually hated Saiyan very much. Boom. At this time, Vegeta also transformed into Super Saiyan. The combat strength of 1.5 billion instantly becomes 75 billion, which is only 5 billion worse than Son Gohan. Of course, because of the 25 times compression, his combat power on the surface is only 3 billion. Sure enough, you will also be transformed like this, but unfortunately, you are not my opponent. Son Gohan judged the strength of Vegeta's breath for the first time. It was only 3 billion, which was far worse than him. Therefore, Son Gohan only used half of his power, thinking that he could easily crush Vegeta. Of course others thought the same, no one worried about Son Gohan. Is it really? The corners of Vegeta's mouth rose slightly. If Son Gohan does his best, he has to suffer a bit first. Wait for part of the energy fusion, and the combat power can be improved before the counterattack can be carried out. But now, it seems that there is no need to consider these. Vegeta raised the intensity of his breath to the same level as Son Gohan, his figure flashed, and he took the initiative to attack. What? Son Gohan didn't expect Vegeta to possess such strength, and was caught off guard for a while. When he reacted, he was already under the wind, he was beaten back step by a series of fierce attacks, and he didn't have time to raise his breath. Damn it, you hide your power. Son Gohan thought he was being calculated, and was furious. Although you can't burst out all the breath at once, you can also increase your strength a little bit with the gap of Vegeta's attack. However, as his strength increased, Vegeta's strength continued to increase, and Son Gohan was always at a disadvantage. How can this be? He was shocked at once. At this time, he had gradually increased his strength to about 80%, and he was still lost to Vegeta. It's just that he didn't know, but Vegeta was very happy at this moment. Because it was transformed into Super 1, the speed of energy fusion was much faster than that of Frieza at the time. In such a short moment, the original 10% progress of the energy fusion has now reached 15%, and this is just the beginning. Boom. At this time, taking advantage of the moment when Vegeta sensed the situation in his body and distracted a little, Son Gohan completely broke out in a state of full energy. The powerful breath of 80 billion swept across the sky. What happened? On the other side, Vegeta baby's face sank slightly. After he possessed Vegeta, his strength was the strongest among the few people present. In the final analysis, he is a parasite, with almost zero combat experience. Others have seen things clearly, he didn't realize the clues until Son Gohan broke out. Master Baby, the Saiyan in front of him is not weak. It may be that he has hidden his strength just now. The real combat effectiveness is about the same as Gohan. It might not be that simple to rely on Gohan to take him down. It was Piccolo who was speaking, and he was known for his calm and wise mind. Although it seems that Vegeta's breath is not as strong as Son Gohan, Piccolo still believes that Son Gohan alone cannot take Vegeta. By saying this, he is asking Baby for instructions and intends to join the battle. Oh? It's so powerful. Even Son Gohan is not an opponent? Baby was a little surprised. However, the stronger Saiyan, the better. At that time, as long as he absorbs the Saiyan energy of these people, he will become stronger. You too, don't rush to beat him, try his limit. Baby made a decision that made himself regret for a lifetime. Yes, Baby. Although Piccolo did not agree with this approach, he did not object. Those who have been planted with live eggs only need to follow orders and do not need their own thoughts. Boom. Vegeta and Son Gohan made a face-to-face punch, and the powerful energy spread to the surroundings, shattering countless rocks, and the ground sank several meters as if it had been plowed once. Although it was evenly divided, Vegeta's power faintly surpassed Son Gohan. Before Son Gohan continued to chase, Vegeta suddenly exploded with a more powerful aura, and then hit the second punch very quickly, which suddenly hit Son Gohan's stomach. Wow! Son Gohan spouted a mouthful of blood, and he couldn't help but shoot out. Rumble. A huge pit appeared on the ground in an instant. Diddy. Combat power, 200 billion strength, 250 billion. Son Gohan had just been beaten into the air, and there was a sudden energy warning behind Vegeta. Piccolo is coming. Boom. Vegeta's strength has exploded, and his energy fusion is more than 15%, and he can increase it again. Under normal conditions, the strength of combat power was 1.5 billion, but it quickly climbed to 2 billion, and then continued to increase until it stopped at 2.5 billion. The normal combat strength of 2.5 billion is 1.25 billion in the Super 1 state. However, when he saw the numbers from the invisible detector, Vegeta did not hesitate to transform into Super Saiyan E. Boom. The breath of 125 billion exploded again, reaching 250 billion. But because of 25 times compression, only 10 billion is shown. Of course, those present already knew that Vegeta's actual power was far greater than the aura he showed. Seeing him transform into Super Saiyan E, in addition to being surprised, Piccolo's complexion has also become much more serious. I didn't expect you to be able to change even Super Saiyan E. I really don't know where you came from. However, I am different from Son Gohan, the young master who only eats, drinks and plays all day. Piccolo said in his mouth. His hands were unambiguous, and he exploded with all his strength, launching a fierce attack on Vegeta. He does have the qualifications to say such things. If he only fights for normalcy, all the people on Earth and Saiyan combined are not as strong as Piccolo alone. Even Vegeta's current situation requires Super Saiyan to face Piccolo. Boom 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 boom. This time, the battle was obviously more intense than the previous battle between Vegeta and Son Gohan. The two hit high from the ground, from high to the atmosphere. The energy after waves centered on the two of them, and they continued to spread outward. Invisible airwaves swept all around, causing volcanic eruptions in many parts of the Earth, and the sea also rolled up countless huge waves. It's amazing. I was fighting a monster of this level just now. Son Gohan, who was finally relieved, couldn't help being stunned as he watched the fierce battle in the sky, and at the same time couldn't help being afraid for a while. At that time, he was very stunned at the nameless man who suddenly appeared, and he didn't have any use to look at him. Although I was defeated in the end, I just thought I was careless. But now, when he sees that Vegeta and Piccolo are on the same level, he has a clear understanding of reality. This is not something he can handle. Don't worry, Uncle Piccolo hasn't shown his full strength yet. Saiyan won't be the opponent. Son Gohan walked over and patted Son Gohan on the shoulder as a relief. Although they were planted with live eggs by Baby, they were only determined to carry out Baby's orders, and there was more hatred of Saiyan. But in essence, they still maintain themselves, and everyone's relationship remains the same. The premise is that there is no conflict with the order issued by Baby, otherwise the brothers will directly stab the knife. Not far away, Vegeta Baby was still a little worried. He couldn't see who was strong and who was weak. Now that I heard Son Gohan's words, I felt a little relieved, and stood there watching the game with his arms folded. Son Gohan. Vegeta's memory seems to have a vague impression of this person, but it is not deep. Do you know his origin? When Vegeta Baby watched the game, he couldn't help but dig out the identity of Vegeta. The current Vegeta's breath and appearance are far from before. Vegeta's memory is a vague outline that can match the number, but he can't think of who is specific. As for Son Gohan, he had never seen Vegeta back then. How could he know? If my father were here, he would know a little bit. After all, he and Uncle Vegeta are pure Saiyan. And we all have half of the Earth's blood. We don't know much about Saiyan. Son Gohan has also been watching the high-altitude battle, and expressed doubts about the situation that still maintains a powerful enemy. He knows Piccolo's character, maybe because of Baby, he put some water in the early stage. But as long as you know that the opponent's strength is not easy to win, you will soon burst out with full strength. But no matter how you look at it now, it is no different from the beginning. Could it be that Saiyan's real strength is about the same as that of Uncle Piccolo? No. If this is the case, Uncle Piccolo may not have much chance of winning. Because Saiyan will become stronger as he fights, as long as he doesn't run into an opponent who is completely unsurpassed, Saiyan will definitely win in the end. Master Baby, I will help Uncle Piccolo. Although Son Gohan made a decision, he still had to wait for Baby to make a decision. Baby couldn't see the situation, but he didn't want the fight to be delayed for too long, so he nodded and said, "Go, it's okay to end the fight soon. Son Goku should be back soon, and I will give him a big surprise at that time." "Yes, Lord Baby." Son Gohan burst into anger and flew towards the center of the battlefield. At high altitudes, the fierce fighting continued, but Piccolo's face had become a little ugly. Because he has tried his best, not to mention defeating the opponent, he can't even suppress it. On the contrary, his own physical strength is constantly being consumed, and he is afraid that it will be defeated sooner or later. Energy fusion, 25%. Vegeta clenched his fist and was very happy. It's already a quarter, and the power of his body is slowly returning, and soon it will far surpass the previous realm. "Piccolo, I really want to thank you very much, but it seems that you don't have much energy left. Do you want to retreat yourself, or should I give you a ride?" Vegeta glanced at Son Gohan, who was not hiding his figure below, and shot straight up, and said to Piccolo. Piccolo is really unwilling. He has always thought that his strength is not much less than that of Saiyan. Except that Son Goku and Vegeta are special cases, their growth cannot be defined by normal human thinking. In addition, even if there are other Saiyans, he doesn't think he can beat him. However, now a Saiyan casually jumped out. The strength is so strong, it really hit Piccolo. "Uncle Piccolo, leave it to me, you just lost to him in terms of physique." Son Gohan came to Piccolo and said. After more than 20 years of being together, Son Gohan can still see Piccolo's thoughts. But Piccolo shook his head and said, "You were wrong, his strength is far more than that, I can feel it. Therefore, you must use all your strength, otherwise it is not necessarily his opponent." Son Gohan was taken aback for a moment, then nodded and said, "Don't worry, Uncle Piccolo, I'll be careful." Wheel fighting. When Vegeta saw Piccolo finish speaking, he returned to the ground, and the corners of his mouth rose slightly. This is exactly what he hopes for. I don't know what Baby thought, but he was sent in from weak to strong, just giving him a chance to buffer and fusion energy. If Son Gohan is on the court from the beginning, I am afraid that Vegeta will have a headache. Son Gohan of GT time and space is not that simple. Although he has also become a scholar, he has not given up his practice since then because of the Buu incident. The strength is not as good as Son Goku, but compared to Vegeta, which can only be transformed into a Super 2, it is not much better. Of course, this refers to the mysterious state. If it's only better than normal, of course, it's far from the opponent who desperately Saburo Vegeta, otherwise Baby would not choose to be possessed by Vegeta. "My name is Son Gohan, the child of Saiyan and the Earthlings. I don't know what identity you are." Son Gohan didn't do it directly, showing his good qualities as a scholar. Vegeta looked at Son Gohan with interest. The invisible detector had already figured out the other side's details. Combat power. 5 billion strength, 6 billion. This is the norm, although only 5 times stronger than Son Goten. However, unlike Son Goten, Son Gohan can not only transform into Super 2, but it also has a mysterious state, which is a special state that is more cheating than Super 3. But after Vegeta's energy fusion just now, his normality has now improved to combat power. 200 million strength, 5 billion. If you transform into a Super 3, you should be able to fight the mysterious Gohan. In a short period of time to reach this point, Vegeta was quite satisfied, so at this time he also had a leisurely answer to Son Gohan's question. "My name is Vegeta, and as you can see, I am also Saiyan." Son Gohan was stunned slightly. "Baguette. This name seems a bit familiar. Ah, I think of it, after Dad and Uncle Vegeta are combined, they seem to be called by this name. But you." He obviously didn't think that the Vegeta in front of him was the one he knew, because it was impossible. The body of Vegeta in this time and space is below, and Son Goku, who has been turned into a child by Black Star Dragon Ball, can only go to the universe to retrieve Black Star Dragon Ball. Vegeta chuckled and said, "The gossip ends here. If you can beat me, I can answer you any questions you want." "Come on then." Son Gohan's expression became serious, and he took off the black-rimmed glasses on his face and threw it aside, and then said, "But I'm sorry, for some reason, the battle might end soon." After speaking, he suddenly yelled, directly exploding into a mysterious state. Boom. A large amount of strong silver-white arrogance erupted from him. Although it is not as exaggerated as the Super Game transformation, Son Gohan's facial features have become more angular, and his hair is also upside down by the arrogance, leaving only a bunch of them. Sharp bangs. Diddy. Combat power, 2.5 trillion strength, 3 trillion. Although Vegeta had expected it a long time ago, he was surprised by this powerful breath. 500 times. The mysterious state has increased by a full 500 times, and it is much stronger than Super 3. This should not only be the limit of the potential state of the Earthling, but also the factor of Saiyan bloodline in his body. In other words, even if Klin and others develop the state of potential, they will not have the mysterious state of Son Gohan after reaching the limit. However, this is interesting. Vegeta smiled slightly, then made a fist and burst into air. What, in Vegeta's roar, the entire space was shaking violently. His hair, which had been erected up high, stretched out quickly and spread to his waist. The golden eyebrows disappeared, the eyebrow bones were also lowered, and the whole face was full of fortitude, like a knife. In the single light green eyes, dark blue pupils appeared. The golden arrogance of the whole body turned into golden light and was fixed, and the blue arc that had flickered from time to time became denser, crackling and bursting continuously. Son Gohan's pupils shrank. You can even change Super Saiyan E. Uncle Piccolo's instincts are right. It seems that wanting to end the battle quickly is still somewhat unrealistic. The Super Second Vegeta can match Piccolo, and the Super Third is 4 times that of the Super Second. Even the mysterious state of Son Gohan feels a bit of a headache. Of course, Son Gohan didn't know at this time that Vegeta doubled his strength after the battle just now. Otherwise, it's not just a headache, but it's hard to judge who is strong and who is weak. Combat power. 80 billion strength, 2 trillion. The corner of Vegeta's mouth was hooked, 2 trillion to 3 trillion, which may be a bit difficult, but as long as it is held down, the energy fusion can explode again. I have to thank baby, otherwise I don't have such a chance. The difference in combat strength is a full 1 trillion, and it is almost ready to form a sling. Therefore, Vegeta did not dare to neglect, and immediately broke out with all his strength and attacked Son Gohan first. What? Son Gohan didn't expect that Vegeta would fight as soon as he said. His reaction was half a beat, and he became passive at the beginning. Although Son Gohan's practice hasn't fallen a lot, it can be said that the Earth has been peaceful for more than 10 years. His combat literacy has already fallen to the freezing point, and it is not so easy to enter the state. Vegeta also saw this, and he was invincible first, and then gradually increased his energy. An energy bomb blasted past, Son Gohan just avoided, and Vegeta kicked it up. Compared to Son Gohan, Vegeta's combat experience is significantly richer. Not only has it inherited the memories of Son Goku and Vegeta, it started just like Beerus. The level is far beyond the current one. How could it be comparable to Son Gohan? So with a simple dangling movement, Son Gohan was kicked, and then a more powerful energy bomb blasted past. Boom. This time Son Gohan had no time to dodge, and was blown up frontally. Although it is an energy bomb that hasn't been condensed in a hurry, it is not as good as Kamehameha's tricks, but after all, Vegeta's energy has been compressed 25 times, which can blow Son Gohan very hard. Although he was not injured, his image was awkward, and his physical strength was also consumed. Hateful. Son Gohan ripped off his damaged suit, exploded in an instant, and rushed towards Vegeta. His speed was surprisingly fast. Even if Vegeta was already defensive, he still received a frontal punch. But this kind of frontal attack, even if he can't avoid it, Vegeta can't do anything. Big Bang attack. Vegeta condensed an energy bomb and detonated it instantly. With the impact of the explosion, he quickly retreated. Not good. Son Gohan's complexion changed slightly, and it was too late to condense the energy bombs, so he could only cross his arms in front of him and was directly blown out. Gohan. Elder brother. Piccolo and Son Goten, who were watching the game below, also changed their colors at the same time. They didn't expect that Son Gohan would be completely at a disadvantage when they just started. Vegeta baby's eyes narrowed and his expression was a little unhappy. What's the matter? Shouldn't Son Gohan's strength be so much stronger than the opponent? Why is this the result? There should be a limit even if you underestimate the enemy. Piccolo can only helplessly explain. Master baby, there have been no strong opponents on the Earth these years, and Gohan has not gone through any high-intensity battles. It is normal for his body to be slow. But as long as he enters the state, the situation will be reversed. Ends. At this moment, Son Gohan was hit one after another, and he was completely angry. He burst out with all his strength and quickly rushed in front of Vegeta. A series of onslaught made Vegeta frantic. It's not that Vegeta can't keep up with the speed, but that his strength is much weaker than Son Gohan without using his original strength. With the same punch, he would be directly beaten back, and even his body would be painful, and he would naturally fall under the wind. What? Son Gohan looked at the gap where Vegeta was beaten back, and kicked out with a ferocious kick, and Vegeta was kicked into the air in an instant. Boom. Vegeta's body slammed into the ground heavily, and a huge pit appeared on the ground. Blaster flashes. Son Gohan propped his left hand with his right hand, and a high-strength energy bomb suddenly exploded from the palm of his left hand, chasing Vegeta's figure and exploded directly. If it were the original Son Gohan, he would never do this kind of thing, because it was launching energy bombs at the Earth, and if one failed, the Earth would be blown up. But just now Baby has already made a dissatisfaction voice. Son Gohan can't take care of this anymore, just want to beat Vegeta to the ground as soon as possible. For Vegeta, this is too exciting. Originally it was a bit reluctant to hit 3 trillion at 2 trillion, but now Son Gohan can enter the state so quickly, but it's a bit difficult. I was kicked by that kick just now, but he still noticed the flash of explosive demon that followed. It can't be blocked, it can't be avoided, and it can't be avoided, otherwise the Earth will explode. Energy shield. In the end, Vegeta stabilized his figure and propped up the energy shield in the huge pit to protect himself. Rumble. The blasting demon flashes down, and a cloud of mushrooms rises on the spot. Because all the power is acting on Vegeta, only the aftermath plows the ground fiercely, and the impact on the entire Earth is not very large. I'm going. I almost can't hold it anymore. After the energy dissipated, Vegeta, who had just revealed his figure, couldn't help but complain. But according to his appearance, it's just that his energy consumption is a bit high, and he didn't even hurt any hair at all. Isn't it? It didn't hurt him. Son Goten couldn't help exclaiming, how strong is this guy? Old Son said that it takes a lot of energy to maintain Super Saiyan II's status, and he will definitely not hold on for long. Piccolo calmly voiced, he was also shocked by Vegeta's strength. Son Gohan looked at the unscathed Vegeta and couldn't help but snorted coldly, since it won't work once, then do it again. Look at me, the flash of the bursting demon. You are so excited. Vegeta's expression changed. Before Son Gohan's energy had fully condensed, he immediately rushed up, and a long chi sword slashed over. The flash of the explosive demon just consumed a lot of his energy. If there is another wave, he won't be able to fight back. Vegeta's chi sword cut was absolutely unexpected. Even if Son Gohan sensed the danger, he immediately cut off the energy condensed and dodges to avoid it. There was still a scar on his face and a strand of hair cut off. What's the trick? Son Gohan frowned. He could actually condense the chi into the appearance of a sword. He had never seen such a trick before. Try it if you don't see it. The corner of Vegeta's mouth raised without an explanation, and he continued to attack Son Gohan with his air sword. Son Gohan's expression was a little dignified, and he watched Vegeta's movements with greater vigilance, avoiding the attacks of the chi sword one after another. No way. The sword formed by this aura was so strong that he didn't dare to pick it up with the palm of his flesh, otherwise it would be easily cut off. However, I have seen through you, and you can only stop here. After Son Gohan avoided the chi sword once again, he screamed fiercely, his body exploded, and his speed instantly increased. He was next to Vegeta in an instant, with swift power, punching punch after punch. This is because his fighting power is far stronger than Vegeta, and he is directly crushed by strength and speed. In the close combat, the energy sword in Vegeta's hand has no use for it, instead, it becomes more and more restrained. In desperation, he could only take the energy sword back. However, if he wanted to beat him only by speed and strength, Son Gohan would be too naive. Let you see my growth over time. Vegeta simply sensed the energy fusion in his body, and the corners of his mouth raised slightly. 40%. GT time and space's Godfan is indeed powerful. In such a short moment, his energy fusion has exploded from 25% to 40%. Of course, this is also related to his transformation into Super Saiyan E. However, if there is no pressure from the divine meal, his energy fusion degree cannot rise so fast. Boom. Facing Son Gohan's swift and pressing attack, Vegeta once again exploded with an extremely powerful aura. The energy intensity started at 2 trillion, and it exploded. 3 trillion. 0.4 trillion. 0.5 trillion. What? Son Gohan was rushed back by the swelling breath of Vegeta, unable to control his figure at all. What's the situation? Son Gohan was full of amazement. The first reaction was that Vegeta had hidden his strength, but he soon realized that something was wrong. No. He must not have been so strong just now. Could it be that he is the legendary Super Saiyan, who is constantly growing in the battle? The stronger the opponent, the faster his strength improves. Son Gohan was obviously misunderstood. However, for him, only this explanation can make sense. Otherwise, he really couldn't understand why in such a short period of time, Vegeta's strength would go from being weaker than Son Goten to being stronger than him. However, at this time, the intensity of Vegeta's breath continued to increase, and finally steadily stopped at a height of 10 trillion. This is terrible. Son Gohan's expression turned quite ugly. On the bright side, Vegeta's breath is only more than 300 billion, but the actual combat power has been 4 or 5 times, obviously far beyond the mysterious state of Son Gohan. The last ultimate flash. At this moment, a blazing light burst into the sky, and the energy response was extremely intense. Diddy. Combat power, 10 trillion strength, 12 trillion. Vegeta, who had just stabilized the energy in his body, hadn't reacted yet, and the invisible detector suddenly sent a strong warning. At the same time, a huge shockwave came straight from below, giving Vegeta no time to react at all. Boom. Before Vegeta even had time to change his expression, he was hit by the huge shockwave. The intensity of 12 trillion is already stronger than the energy intensity he can use. It is foreseeable that if you change someone else and suffer such a sneak attack without any preparation, you will suffer severe damage even if you don't die. The violent energy exploded in an all-round way, and the earth-shaking explosion sounded. Son Gohan didn't react either, and was pushed far away by the shockwave of the energy explosion. The powerful airwave shocked his body. Seeing such a terrifying explosion of energy, it was as powerful as a god's rice and couldn't help but change in amazement. Did Master Baby take the shot? Son Gohan was clear in his heart. Babies, who are like parasites, are different from their Saiyan. They don't pay attention to fighting alone. When Baby saw that the situation was not right, he had absorbed Son Goten's Saiyan energy and burst out the most powerful attack, launching a sneak attack while Vegeta was unprepared. With his current conditions, this final ultimate flash is the maximum intensity he can achieve. The energy intensity of 12 trillion is 4 times higher than that of the mysterious Gohan, and the power that bursts out suddenly is absolutely enough to shock anyone. Son Gohan, come back to me, give me your super race energy, hurry! Vegeta Baby yelled urgently on the ground. He knew that this shockwave would definitely have an impact on Vegeta, but it was really uncertain what effect it would have in the end. The only certainty was that it would definitely not kill Vegeta. Therefore, Baby needs stronger power to ensure absolute advantage. Yes, Lord Baby. Son Gohan naturally wouldn't refuse, and returned to Baby as soon as he flashed around. Then, he directly transformed into Super Saiyan E, and transferred his super power into Baby's body, and the aura of Vegeta Baby continued to rise at this moment. Boom. After absorbing the energy of Son Gohan Super Saiyan E, Vegeta Baby suddenly exploded with an unusually powerful aura. The hair that was not long originally grew greatly, and the muscles of the upper body were raised and become more developed. The facial lines are also more prominent, with a pair of golden shawls growing on the shoulders. The image belonging to Vegeta is slowly evolving towards Baby. Crackling. Crackling. The bounce of blue arcs means that Vegeta Baby has entered the state of Super Saiyan E at this time. Previously, he could only control the power of Super Saiyan 1, but his strength was already stronger than that of Godfan. Now he is entering the second stage of Super Saiyan, and his combat power has suddenly doubled. HMPH, with this power, let alone the Saiyan monkey in front of me, even if Son Goku comes back, I am not afraid. Vegeta Baby felt the powerful force surging out of his body and couldn't help but smile. Stand up. Master Baby is the most powerful warrior in the universe, the Saiyan monkey. How could it be the opponent of Master Baby? Son Gohan, who had become quite weak, was flattering beside him. Huh. Useless waste. Baby didn't appreciate it at all and kicked Son Gohan away. I can't help being angry when I see you Saiyan monkeys. And you can't even beat an unknown Saiyan. In the end, I was asked to go out in person, it was just a waste. Son Gohan was so scolded that he didn't dare to talk back, and Son Goten and Piccolo next to him were also the only ones. However, the Saiyan named Vegeta, even if he is not dead, he should have only half his life left. I was so serious about boosting my energy, it was a bit of a fuss. Vegeta Baby felt that his behavior was a bit embarrassing just now. In fact, he is not really a powerful warrior. He is just a parasite. He is just possessed by Vegeta, controlling and enhancing the power of Vegeta's physical body. But when it comes to actual combat capabilities, there is not much. Vegeta, who had played well with Son Gohan, suddenly improved so much. Although Baby believes that he is better than Gohan, and even stronger than Vegeta's improved strength, he is always not at ease in his heart. So he immediately summoned Son Gohan back, absorbed the opponent's super race energy, and allowed himself to further increase his energy, which would be more insurance. Baby. Suddenly, there was a loud shout from high above, which shook all the fields, causing the air to vibrate. It can be seen that its mighty momentum also changed the complexions of Baby, Son Gohan and others. You miscellaneous dog, parasite, I must kill you. The aftermath of the energy after the explosion dissipated, gradually revealing Vegeta's figure. It didn't seem to be damaged at all, and the breath was not weak at all, even stronger than before. However, his face was very corrupt. It's impossible. Vegeta Baby was shocked. Not only did Vegeta not be injured, but he was stronger. How can this be? Go to hell. The answer to him was a swift and powerful fist. Vegeta almost flashed his body, appeared in front of Vegeta Baby from a high altitude, and blasted him out with a direct punch. Immediately afterwards, he was a flashback, and instantly caught up with the Vegeta Baby who burst out. Boom boom boom. A series of fierce attacks fell on Baby like a violent storm, and every punch was heavy, almost like a posture to beat Baby into meat sauce. So, the Super 2 Vegeta Baby, who had just increased his energy and had not had time to show off his prestige, turned into a sandbag in an instant. Every time a punch fell, his body was almost deformed. Then, relying on his strong physique, he forcibly returned to his original shape, and the other position was distorted. If there are other audiences at this time, I am afraid they will all cry out for Baby. Master Baby. Son Gohan, Son Goten, and Piccolo are all in a hurry. But at this time, they almost have no energy, and the level of the battle between Vegeta and Baby is not something they can join in. They can only be anxious in the distance, there is no way. Baby, I want your life. Kamehameha wave. Vegeta kicked Baby up high in the air, placed his hands in a calyx-like shape on his waist, and quickly condensed an extra-large ki blast, and pushed it out towards Baby. What? Baby, Son Gohan and others were shocked. This guy even knows Kamehameha. Baby was a little dazed by the series of fierce attacks, and suffered more or less trauma in his body. But Kamehameha wave needs to gather energy after all, and it also gave him some time to react. He didn't know why Vegeta suddenly seemed to run away, but in order to save his life, he didn't have time to think so much, so he tried to save his life in the first place. Listen to me, all the people on Earth, let me release all your hatred of Saiyan. I need your power. Ah, revenge death bomb. Vegeta Baby gathered his hands in front of him, and a black energy bullet condensed from negative energy quickly took shape. At the same time, all creatures on the earth that were planted with live eggs, even kittens and puppies, stopped what they were doing and turned their eyes to Baby's location. All their faces showed hideous faces, and black mists rose up from their bodies, condensing towards Baby at an extremely fast speed. This process is very long to speak, but it was actually completed the moment Baby gave the order. When Vegeta's Kamehameha was launched, Baby had already begun to gather some of the energy of the Earth's hatred towards Saiyan. By the time Kamehameha is present, the energy has exploded to a level that is not weak, and it can be used to block Kamehameha.